welcome to the Lawrence Garden Farm channel. Today I'm going to share with you how we are planting up this beautiful birch log that Jason made for me. I had this idea of creating a container out of one of our extra birch logs, and Jason worked hard doing it, and here it is. I feel like this container would look amazing with succulents, but I really want to enjoy it outside right now in our little sitting area. So I'm going to go ahead and plant up some violas in here. And then once it starts getting a little bit warmer outside and the violas aren't doing so hot, then I figure I can always go ahead and add succulents in there because it's so easy. And we'll share that once that time comes. But for today, it's all about the spring goodie flowers. So this is Penny's Peach Jump Up. They're super gorgeous. They almost look like they're actually smiling at you. That's why I really want to plant it up with these violas today. So that way when we're sitting outside on these nicer days that we get every once in a while right now here in Wisconsin Zone 4, we can really enjoy these happy flowers. Well, I really have to wear gloves for this one because there's a lot of wood sticking out in here and I don't want to get a sliver, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up with some potting soil. Normally I'd have Jason drill some drainage holes in here for me, but because we know that we're going to do some succulents in here later on in the season, I'm just going to leave it with no drainage holes because I'd really love to bring this inside onto our kitchen table. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in some potting soil in there. You could also always add a liner to protect the wood, but with the birch, it's such a hard wood, thick wood too, to where I think it's going to be okay. I'm also just going to go ahead and add in a little bit of Osmocote time release like we do in all of our containers. I'm doing that because we get a lot of cold nights, a lot of rainy weather, so a lot of times the violas and pansies this time of year don't even have time to dry out, so we're able to fertilize through the water. So we have to make sure that there's some type of a time release inside of the soil. This is the plug size, and this is about how deep the container actually is. So I'm going to go ahead and really kind of get in there and break up that root like that, kind of fold it over, and then plant it. And there we go. So that was pretty simple. We already have it all planted up, but now I'm going to go ahead and just take it one step further like I did in my past container gardening video with the violas, and we're going to go ahead and add this beautiful decorative moss. If you can see, I've got some birch bark kind of folding over here. I'm just going to kind of stick some right in there just so it's a little bit more of like a natural look there. There, kind of squish it in there. We're also going to go ahead and add some right into the corner here. There's a nice large crack here, so I kind of want the container to continue on this way. So I'm actually going to stuff some right in there too. I can always hose this out if I don't want it in there later for when I do plant succulents. And if I want it to look maybe just a little bit more clean, because we could always actually plant succulents right there. I'm loving that. There we go. All right. And look at that, you guys, we're all done. And for watering, I'm actually going to use a fine mist spray bottle to wet the soil. You could always wet the soil even before you put it in there and then plant it. But if you use a fine mist spray bottle, that way you're not watering and then there's all kinds of water just sitting inside, because remember, there are no drainage holes. If there were drainage holes, I would just go ahead and water and anything extra would drain out, but there's not. So you have to be just a little bit more careful. And the only time we're going to water again then would be once we put our finger in there. If we look and it looks wet underneath the surface of the soil, then no, we won't water it. But if it looks dry underneath the surface of the soil, then we'll go ahead and give it another little spritzing. For us, instead of using a spray bottle, we have a Fogg-It nozzle. It's a mister, so it's just like using a spray bottle, but only hooked onto a hose. If you're interested in the Fogg-It nozzle, we'll also attach the link in the description of this video for you. I'm gonna just let that sit, soak for a second. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my finger in there and see how far the water actually absorbed into. So I'm just gonna use my finger to go like this. And if you notice, the water has already absorbed into there. So we're done watering. If it still looked a little dry, I would have gone ahead and given it one last pass over with the Fogg-It nozzle, but it looks good. The only thing I'm gonna do now is just get the dirt off of the white birch. That way it looks nice and clean and shiny. There. And there it is. Our cute little spring birch log container. In here we've already got our potting soil and time-release fertilizer in there. It's called Osmocote. I'm gonna do my favorite mix of all. It's the Frizzle Sizzle series. It's the Frizzle Sizzle mix. The reason why Frizzle Sizzle Variety is one of my favorites is because it's a pansy, but it has a ruffled flower. It is so gorgeous and unique, and it just that extra little added texture just really makes the flowers pop even more. And here we've also got the solid Frizzle Sizzle Orange, and I was really struck by it because I love the color orange in the garden. I feel like it's what makes everything pop and look fun and happy. So I'm also a fall nut, so that could be why I like orange. I don't know, but it just really, I think adding just a couple of those extra little oranges into the Frizzle Sizzle mix will really brighten it up and make it really pop against this beautiful green. Well, since they're all pretty much the same, I'm gonna just start right in the middle and then work my way around. Always make sure to just squeeze the bottom a little bit, because you just never know. You don't want it to pull on it and then all of a sudden it just like pops off of the root plug. That's always so disappointing. I've had it happen. That's why you'll see me most of the time squeezing the bottom. Here, I'm gonna put this one here. I want to squeeze in an orange right over here. We've got it planted up. Nice, bright, colorful, multicolored, beautiful on any porch or patio. But I've been loving these willows. I know you guys saw this in one of our last videos that we did. But what's really cool is it's not just a branch. They're starting to get their green little buds. It's a true sign of spring. We're just gonna go ahead and just push that down on in there. And what's really cool about these is that they will actually root. So once the pansies are kind of died out a little bit, when it gets a little hot, you can just kind of separate the willows from the pansies. The willows will have roots on them, so you can plant them outside. We have a waterway, so we plan on just multiplying and keep putting them out there. So let's see, they get real crazy, as you can tell. But that's what I love about them. They're super cool. So here we go. And there's no rhyme or reason of where I'm putting them, just kind of having fun with them. What's really cool is this one here is already budding. A lot of them are already starting to, so pretty soon they will all actually have a lot of green on these. So this is a really cool addition to the spring containers, because they're not just gonna look like branches for long. They're gonna start showing their leaves when everything else does. So it's gonna be timed just right for the perfect spring container. So we really want the water to go down to where the sticks are, because the willow will root as long as it has moisture to hold on to. And that's what we want. We want to be able to get some willow bushes out of this container once it's done, so it's multifunctional for us. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and just have fun planting up a few more containers, but you guys kind of get the gist of the style of what we're doing this year and how we're planting up our spring containers. So I really hope we are able to bring you guys some good ideas and tips to help you along in your spring garden this year. Thank you so much for watching, and if you don't already subscribe, feel free to click on the subscribe button, and if you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.